Alright, well, I wanted to talk just a little bit about why I love hammock camping. And this video was mostly for anybody who's never tried this. If you've camped in a hammock, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, and I'm relatively new to it as of last fall. It's April right now, but as of last fall, last November was the first time I bought this hammock, ENO double nest hammock, in October of last year on a trip to North Carolina. Got it on sale at a store down there that unfortunately doesn't do any online sales. You have to buy at the store, which is the way they like it. But anyways, I bought this hammock in North Carolina last year and camped in it the first time in November during deer season. Camped a couple more times over the winter. Did a winter camp in January and February, and this is a spring camp right here. It's April the 7th. I came out last night. My wife dropped me off here on some state land about 15 miles from where I live. She dropped me off here, and I hiked out and set up my camp yesterday. It's a little bit windy, but one of the things that really makes the hammock just the way to go, there's a couple of things, and we'll start with weight. This whole hammock wraps up into a little baggie, into a little container type thing, a little pouch right there. That's it. It's a little slightly bigger than a softball when it's packed up, and then you add to that, you can see the straps there that have it. Those go into a package of their own that's about half the size of the hammock, and by the time you get the tarp in, and a bug net, which I don't have yet. Don't need one yet, but I will need one soon when spring kind of moves on a little bit here. But all of that you can get into a pouch on the side of my Molly pack here that's half the size of a two-person tent. You know, I've even got a one-person tent that would take up more space than my hammock and my straps and all of that. And so it doesn't take a lot of space. It sets up quick. I can have this hammock up with the tarp. Without the tarp, I can have the hammock up in a matter of just about maybe 2 minutes, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes at the very most. With the tarp, it takes a couple more minutes. And then what you've got, once you've got the hammock set up, you've got a comfortable bed in the woods. I've been in this thing all morning. I went to bed last night about 10:30. I came out here for just like an R&R sort of a weekend. I didn't come out with any specific plans. And I've barely gotten out of bed all day. I finally got up and put on a pair of pants here just before I started filming. So, you know, I was wearing long johns, obviously. I'm not sitting naked out in the woods, but I could. There's nobody out here, but I'm not going to. But anyways, I've been kind of resting in all day. I made my breakfast laying here. I was able to lean over the edge and cook in my little hiking stove down there and heated up water for my coffee, and then I ate a cold breakfast, but I had hot coffee, and that's all that really matters. And now, as you can see, I'm using my hammock as a lounger. And this, I think, maybe is my favorite feature of this thing, other than the fact, that you need sleep. A guy needs sleep at night. And this is way better than sleeping on the ground. But beyond that, this is what I really like. I'm just kind of sitting here, lean back. I've got this side pulled up behind my head, like this. I don't have to hold, I'm practically, it's like a recliner. And I'm just sitting here, killing time. Just hanging out, making a video. And I don't know if I want to do anything else before I pack up, to be totally honest with you. It's been pretty busy at work, and I mentioned I put my band back together, and I've had my solo music career going again for a few months now. And occasionally you just hit the wall, you get tired, and that's kind of where I was at this weekend. And my wife said, maybe you ought to get out and go spend a night in the woods, and I did, and I'm glad. I guess the gist of this whole little segment here is, why do I love hammock camping? Well, because you could hang a hammock anywhere. I'm on the side of a hill, I'm on the side of a hill between the top of the hill and the river bottom, which you probably can't see right there with my tarp in the way, but I'm halfway up the hill. I'm on an angle here, but I slept plenty flat last night. Getting up and walking around was a little Not too bad. It's not real steep right here. This is kind of almost like a ledge, but it's at an angle, so I mean it's a little bit tricky. But if you're in a swamp, you hang the hammock up. You're dry ground, hang the hammock up. I've even seen a picture the other day. I saw on the internet a picture of a guy with his hammock hanging between two drowned trees in a lake, in a pond or a lake or whatever it was. Looked like a couple of cypress trees. I'm guessing they were. He was in gator country. I don't know that I'd want to be hanging that close to the lake in gator country, but hey, it just goes to show you what the hammock can do. And even my wife, I finally got her to try this thing out, just to lay in it for a few minutes, and now she says she wants a hammock. So it's very comfortable, lightweight, hang it anywhere. Like I said, that's what this little segment was about. Why I love hammock camping, and that's it. That's the answer right there. It's fun. It's comfortable. It's way more comfortable than sleeping on the ground. So, if you want to try it out, I would help you out with any information that I can give you. Although I'm not a good source of it. I'm pretty new to it myself. But now there's plenty of places to get information if you want to. If you're thinking about hammock camping, and it's a little more complicated. It can be a little more complicated than just hanging your hammock. Now myself, I bought the Atlas straps and the hammock together. I've had a couple of different tarps just to try out. You don't have to get that complicated with it like some of these guys do. I mean, they've got all sorts of pieces of equipment and different ways of tying things and this and that. It's all great if you want to learn that, and you can get that information. There's plenty of places, like Shug Emery has a channel on YouTube. Even my buddy Dave over at David's Passage, who's the one that kind of talked me into buying a hammock. We went on a few trips together, hiked the Alleghenies, paddled the Pine River in northern Michigan there, and a couple of other things. And every time he's always talking about how great it is just hanging in a hammock. And it seemed like he was getting a pretty restful night's sleep too. So last fall when I had the chance to buy one of these, I did. But you can get really complicated with it, or you can get really easy. I just bought the hammock and the straps, and I'll get a bug net to hang, and I got my tarp. You can learn plenty from Shug or Dave, or any place else. But the truth of the matter is, if you want to get into it, the best thing to do is just go out and do a little research, find the best hammock. This isn't one of your yard hammocks. It doesn't have the bar across it that keeps it flat, and you're not going to tip out of this thing. It takes a very little bit of getting used to, and once you get used to hanging in this thing, you'd be surprised at just how easy it is, and wonder why you've camped on the ground all these years, or even worried about dragging an air mattress if you're going right on a regular camp. I'm going to put this in with our regular camping gear when we go to a campground. If there's two trees, I'll hang my hammock and have it there. But mostly I got it for backwoods camping like this weekend.